Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of the NFL Mock Draft. My name is Juan Rodriguez. People usually call me good old JR, Junior, Juan, whatever it is. I'm just so excited to be here with you guys on this good day. Happy Easter to everybody out there. I want to thank everybody that has tuned in, that has seen the video as always. J Rod Sports and Discussions Debate Show. I want to thank everybody that has subscribed. You can also follow us on Facebook, on the All Sports Talk podcast page, Instagram, same thing. We also have that podcast as well. So please like, subscribe, everything, and I'll be forever grateful. I want to get big with all my fans here. So let's just get to this. If you haven't known by now, this is the 2021 NFL Mock Draft. Today, two teams: Denver Broncos, Dallas Cowboys. So I guess nothing to it, but yeah, let's just get straight to it. So the Denver Broncos, what a lot of people thought was going to be a good draft class, it just didn't turn out that way. Let's just go over what they did. First round, pick 15, Jerry Judy, the wide receiver out of Alabama. I thought he was the best route runner out of everybody. First round wise, I thought he was going to have a good, solid year. It did not happen. We all knew Denver knew the emphasis of this offense, where the problem was, and that was wide receiver. So they also got him KJ Hamler, wide receiver out of Penn State, in the second round. In the third, they went defense with Michael Ujumita, the corner out of Iowa. Third round, pick 83, Lloyd Cushenberry, the center out of LSU. Third round again, McTelving Aljum, the defensive tackle out of Arkansas. That was a good solid pickup right there. I thought a little too high for my taste, but I figured if you're going to be a good defense, I think he's going to fit right in. Fourth round, Albert Okuwagaban, the tight end out of Missouri. So I don't know what it is about Missouri, but they develop tight ends, it seems like, every single draft. He was just the latest one. Fifth round, Justin Stratton, linebacker out of Wake Forest. And then sixth round, Netane Mute, the guard out of Fresno. Depth, both of them kind of depth, inactive. And then seventh round again, they went wide receiver again. This time, Tyree Cleveland, the wide receiver out of Florida. And then lastly, their last pick, Derek Tuzaka, the defensive end out of North Dakota State. So everything was looking very promising for Denver heading into this last year. They finally thought they finally got their quarterback of the future because Drew Lock looked good his last few games as a rookie. Everybody thought that they were going to come and they were really going to compete. The offensive line is starting to solidify itself as a very good offensive line. A couple pieces missing, but overall, good, solid line. Then it's just one after the other. Von Miller tore his ACL. He's out for the year. Drew Lock had a tough second season. They ended up going 5-11. KJ Hamler was the worst wide receiver in case of drops this year with a 73% drop rating. And Jerry Judy was second. So your first two picks were number one and number two in drops this year. That is not the way you think that was going to go. And in some cases, the general managers, majority of the NFL general managers around the league, graded this as the worst draft class by an NFL team. So they were voted the worst draft class. I thought there was worse out there, but apparently this one took the cake. So not the way you want to go. Ended up going 5-11. Not the promising year that Denver thought they were going to have. 28th on offense, 25th on defense. Everything was it just didn't work out for Denver that I think people thought it was going to work out. And that's a shame. Truly a shame, because Denver had a lot of promise heading into this year, and now we don't know. Now it's just, when you look at Denver and when you look at the team from top to bottom, they have some nice names and some nice players. Running backs now, Melvin Gordon. They lost Phillip Lindsay, but they got Royce Freeman still, and now with the addition of Mike Boone, that's a good running back room. They have, in the wide receiver room, Jerry Judy, KJ Hamler, Cortland Sutton, and Tim Patrick, Tyree Cleveland. They have wide receiver depth, so that's good. Tight ends, now you got Noah Fant. That's the number one dude. And then now with Albert Okugaban now being number two, it's like, and then you look at the line, Bowles, The left guard out of I think it was Northwestern a couple of years ago. Rinder, I believe that's his name. Lloyd Cushenberry is going to be the center. Glasgow is another right guard. They're just missing a right tackle. I mean, offensively, this team's ready to go now. And then when you look at defensively, Von Miller's going to come back stronger than ever. Bradley Chubb's going to have a bounce back year. The defense is already good. Justin Simmons is already good safety. They can get to the quarterback. They've always proved that they can do that. They can get to the quarterback. It was just a tough year to see Vic Fangio in his second year. This was tough. Because really what it is now is John Elway, Vic Fangio, they both know that they're on a short leash. They're on a very short leash now. And, ended up 5-11, which is not good because I have a lot of friends that are Broncos fans, and it just hurts. As a Raider fan, I never want to, it's always fun playing against them, and it's always fun as a division game. But the first one was terrible. That was a terrible game. The Raiders just blew them out of the water. The second one was a lot closer. So that's good. It's just, ended up 5-11. And they said, well, how much worse can it get? Well, it did. They lost Jeremy Atuchu. They lost Philip Lindsay, every Denver fan's favorite running back. They lost Elijah Wilkinson to the Bears. Nick Vanette's gone. However, they are getting stronger defensively again. Ronald Darby from Washington, he's now coming to Denver. Kyle Fuller from Chicago, he's coming to Denver. Mike Boone, as I mentioned earlier, he is now the third running back in that already solid running back room that they got. So Kareem Jackson, he's going to start alongside with Justin Simmons. And Justin Simmons just got a new deal. So, it's not that the Denver Broncos are in a tough spot. It's just the Denver Broncos, everybody in that Denver Broncos organizations can now feel the heat in there, because ever since John Elway did everything in his power to make this team compete for a long time. When they had Peyton Manning, they were a great football team, great competitive team. John Elway had one job since he was the general manager of the Denver Broncos. Sign Peyton Manning and find his replacement. That's all he had to do. The easiest job in the world. He didn't have to build the defense because the defense was already getting better. He didn't have to build an offense because the weapons were already there. He didn't have to do special teams because they were one of the best already before Peyton Manning got there. All he had to do was sign Peyton Manning, get a franchise quarterback to replace him after that. It has been quarterback carousel since Peyton Manning left. And you would think John Elway, being the Hall of Fame quarterback that he is, knows what it would take to win in the NFL, knows what it takes to be a quarterback to win in the NFL, cannot find a solid quarterback for the Denver Broncos. Good for the rest of the division. Believe me, the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Kansas City Chiefs love John Elway because they cannot find a franchise quarterback for this team. When you look at it, and if there was no injuries, you look at the Denver Broncos roster, they're ready to compete right now. They just need a solid leader. Now, is Drew Lock the solid leader? We don't know. It's a second year, but John Elway has to feel the pressure now like crap. Super Bowl 50 was 5 years ago, guys. Super Bowl 50 was 5 years ago. In football terms, that is a long time ago. Very long time ago. And if I'm John Elway, I got to feel the heat on this one. He's feeling it. Is there some communication issues with Drew Lock, John Elway, offensive coordinator? Maybe. But there's no reason for me to believe that with all the talent Drew Lock does have around him, they can't win. Yeah, I get it. Von Miller was gone, but really? Von Miller's not a spring chicken anymore. He's getting older, and that's what happens. So it's just, to me, I know he's going to come back, and Bradley Chubb's going to come back. Defensively, I know the Broncos are going to have a bounce back year. That's not the issue. The issue is, how does John Elway feel about Drew Lock as his franchise QB? Should he go with it? Should he not go with it? I don't know. It really all depends on how John Elway feels, really. And if John Elway's going to go down, you would think John Elway's going to go down with his guy. All these other guys, the Osweilers, Paxton Lynch's, they were just failed. They were failed experiments. And it seems like, how many more chances does this guy have to fail, and to fail? John Elway had a golden ticket The golden ticket was Peyton Manning came to him. All he had to do was find a replacement for Peyton Manning. That's all he had to do. And I know finding a franchise quarterback is hard, but really, when you got everything else in place, that should have been his main focus. But here we go. I got no shame in this. I got no shame in doing this. I love Drew, but I'm going to do it. So with the 9th pick in the 2021 NFL mock draft, the Denver Broncos select Justin Fields, quarterback out of Ohio State. Look, if you told me today if Drew Lock and Justin Fields were coming out, I love Drew, but I love Justin Fields just a little bit more. 6'3", 228, Heisman Trophy finalist, Chicago Tribune Silver Football Player of the Year, 2-time Otto Graham and Eddie George Offensive Player of the Year, 2-time Brian Griese and Drew Brees Quarterback of the Year for the Big Ten, second team All-American 2019, first team All-Big Ten 2019 and 2020, and Big Ten Champion 2019 and 2020, Big Ten Champion MVP 2019. What does this mean? He's a winner. Justin Fields is a winner. Knows how to win. And it wasn't easy for him to get this recognition. He started in Georgia, and really, Georgia did him no favors. They played 12 games, and he was there, and they pretty much told him, you're never going to start for us. It got to the point where they got somebody else out of the transfer poll that he was just like, well, if I'm never going to start here, then why waste my time? He believed that he could start somewhere else, and he went to Ohio State. Sure enough, boom, that's where everything exploded. In his first year with Ohio State, 3,273 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 484 rushing yards with 10 touchdowns. That was his first year at Ohio State. Clearly, there's some talent there. Now, 2020, only 8 games, but it was a weird year for everybody. So, only 2,100 passing yards, 22 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 383 rushing yards, 5 touchdowns. Now, look, I understand those numbers might seem low, but I think due to the fact that it was just 8 games, I think if you would have given him more, he would have way better stats. If he would have had the 14 that the Big Ten have, I think he would have still crushed all these records he had last year. So, for me, it's a no-brainer. If I'm John Elway today, and Justin Fields is there, you're going to go out with your guy. At least you can say you did not have the courage to go out with your guy. Matt Millen said this the best. Make your own mistakes. Don't let somebody else do them for you. John Elway has to realize he is on the shortest leash that you could think of right now. He's got to. He's got to think that way. His job is on the line. Vic Fangio's job is on the line. And why? If you're going to lose, at least lose with your guy. And I know what you're going to say. Well, Juan or Junior or Rod, that's so hypocritical of you. Is it? Is it really? I think the Carolina Panthers have more trust in Teddy Bridgewater today than John Elway has trust in Drew Lock today. So if I'm John Elway and I'm sitting there at 9, if Justin Fields falls to me at 9, that's a sign. Take him. Take him, take him, take him. You have to. You have to take this guy. And I know what somewhere down the line, maybe a Bronco fan's going to see this. We don't have to take Justin Fields. We would have got Drew Lock. Well, look what did it show you? What did it show you? I get it. Von Miller was hurt. Okay, that's great and dandy, but what does the defense have to do with the offense deficiencies? Vice versa. What does that have to do with it? It's not like Von Miller's going to go out there and play tight end. You know, it's what it is. And I think right now, Justin Fields is a better prospect coming out of college than Drew Lock. So that's why I'm going to go at number 9. I believe at number 9, I'm going to stick with my pick. I'm going to go with Justin Fields here. I think John Elway I think it's going to be a preseason training camp battle. And I think in the end of it, I think Drew Lock will get the start. But if things start to go sour quick after 4 games, I believe Justin Fields will go in there. I would prefer in a situation where Justin Fields takes a couple years, but in this case with the Denver, he's got to win, and I think he'll do great in Denver. So moving on. The Dallas Cowboys are on the clock. Now, in my opinion, I thought Dallas had a solid draft. It didn't turn out that way, but I'll explain why. Pick 17, CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver. I thought he was the best wide receiver coming out of college last year. I think he might be 1A. If he were to come out today, he would probably still be the best wide receiver coming out. And that's with Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, the guy from Minnesota. I keep forgetting his name, and I feel so bad. Tooney, all these guys. I think he would still be the best wide receiver taken. So in my opinion, this is a great choice by Dallas. You've got to take the best player available. And CeeDee Lamb was the best player available. Trayvon Diggs, rough start, kind of picked it up at the end. So at least they know that he can play. Now, Neville Gilmore was interesting. I liked him coming out of Oklahoma. I just thought the third round, kind of like what they did with Tristan Hill last year. The talent's there. The love is there, but is the effort there? That's kind of the thing where we're going to have to see this next 2 years with the two defensive tackles that are going to be there, with Tristan Hill and Neville Gilmore. The love is there. The passion's there. They're there, but the effort, I kind of questioned it, especially being a third rounder. I kind of questioned it what they did with Tristan Hill a couple of years ago. Loved his game, but I don't know if I'm going to get 100% every single snap. Fourth round, Reggie Robinson, corner out of Tulsa, great special teams ace, good gunner, good H3 player. That's a great pickup right there. Now, fifth round, this one was a significant pick. Tyler Badaz, the center out of Wisconsin. They had to replace their previous center due to his retirement through unfortunate circumstances. But he's doing good, and that's all we can wish for. But now I think they're really high on him, and I think he's going to have a better sophomore year. Fifth round. Now, I thought this was a steal in the fifth round. Bradley Annay. I think for the most part, what it was just DeMarcus Lawrence, Alden Smith. Everybody else kind of took snaps away from him, but I think he's going to surprise a lot of people next year. I think Bradley Annay is a very good sleeper right now, and I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to love him. I think they got him at the right pick. I mean, obviously they got him at the right pick. I thought he was going to go earlier than that, but he went in the fifth round. It happens. I don't know if it was because of interviews, character issues. We don't know, but I think Dallas is going to love him. I think he's going to be a surprise pick. I think if I was going to pick anybody out of their draft picks, Bradley Annay is my surprise player of the year for the Dallas Cowboys. And seventh round, Ben DiNucci, the quarterback out of James Madison. It is what it is. One start, and we don't know how that went. So not a lot to really talk about. There's a reason he went in the seventh round. Camp Barn. Yay. That's it. So a lot of things happened for Dallas. I mean, it was a lot. I mean, they had to suffer a lot. Mike McCarthy was back. Alden Smith came back. Dak went down. Zeke had a good season, but not top 5 running back like we're used to seeing. And the Dallas Cowboys ended up 6-10. I mean, the NFC East was so bad that even Dallas still had chances up until like week 16 to really win the division. That's how bad it was. 6-10. 17th in offense, so I mean they got that going right. They got something going right. It's just that defense. That defense needs to get healthier and needs to get better. And the way the free agency worked out for them, it just got a little tougher. Chidobe Awuzie is now in Cincinnati. Andy Dalton, who did start for Dallas after the whole Dak Prescott and Ben DiNucci deal, he's now a Bear. Cameron Irving left to Carolina, so that's loss of depth. Xavier Woods, that's gone. So now he's in Minnesota. Joe Thomas, not the offensive lineman, the linebacker, is now in Houston. Blake Bell, the tight end, he's now in KC. And Greg Senat is now in Cleveland. However, it wasn't all bad for Dallas. They did have some good free agents coming in. So Jordan Lewis resigned. Dak Prescott resigned. Terrell Basham, the outside linebacker from the Jets, he's coming. Keanu Neal, former first-rounder safety, he's now going to be part of that Dallas defense. Carlos Watkins, depth defensive lineman, that's good. Brent Urban from Chicago. So whenever you get depth from Chicago, you just know that they got taught very well. So I like that pickup right there. Carlos Watkins, defensive lineman, coming from Houston. I think he's going to be additional great depth, especially in nickel and dime packages. Nisike, the right tackle, 36-year-old journeyman. He's coming from Buffalo. One last hurrah, probably before he closes it. Jake McQuaid, the longtime line snapper for the Rams, is now coming to Dallas. And DeMonte Casey, the safety out of Atlanta, he is now a Dallas Cowboy. So Dallas, really, we know what the issue is. Dak's going to come back. The offensive line, I know they're getting older, but they're going to come back even stronger, I believe. I think Tyrell Smith's going to have a bounce-back year. Zach Martin's going to have a bounce-back year. Leo Collins, all those guys, Tyler Berdaz. The offensive line for Dallas is the least of their worries. For me, personally, we know where the secret is. It's defense. But what do? Do you draft defensive linemen? And really, when's he going to play? I mean, you could do defensive linemen, but your secondary still needs help because a lot of these guys that they signed, they're only on one-year deals. Do you trust Jordan Lewis and Trayvon Diggs to be your starter? That's one. Safety, is that an issue? Maybe. Really what it's going to come down to is Dallas is either going to have to invest in that defensive line, but I think with all the draft picks they did with DeMarcus Lawrence, Tristan Hill, Neville Gilmore, Bradley Annay, I think what it is now is I think they invested so many draft picks on defensive line. I think right now is the best time to work on the secondary. Your linebackers are going to be good. Your defensive lineman is going to be healthy again. I think it's a no-brainer. I think they go corner here. So I think with the 10th pick, now I know which one. Is it going to be Caleb Fairley or is it going to be Patrick Surtain? Both really talented, both really good. So here we go. I think with the 10th pick of the draft, I think the Dallas Cowboys go Patrick Surtain, the corner out of Alabama, 6'2", 202 pounds, national champion, SEC Defensive Player of the Year, unanimous All-American, and first-team All-SEC. If I were to give him a pro comp where how good his career can be, I think he's a more athletic Nnamdi Asomugha. Nnamdi Asomugha was one of the better corners in the early 2000s all the way to 2010s. He was a really good corner. I mean, he was an excellent man cover, and I think this guy is a more athletic, better Nnamdi. Overall, his freshman year, 37 tackles, 1 forced fumble, 1 interception, 7 pass deflections. 2019, 42 tackles, 3 forced fumbles, 2 interceptions, 8 pass deflections. 2020, this is why he won SEC Defensive Player of the Year. 32 tackles, 10 pass deflections, 1 interception. That interception turned into a touchdown. So, guys, what I'm saying to you is this. He is the best man coverage corner in this draft. To me, at least, Patrick Surtain is. Now, Dallas can go Caleb Fairley too, and that'll be fine. But I just think right now, I don't think you really have to teach Patrick anything other than what corner slot is he going to take? Is he going to take 1, 2, zone, slot? What's he going to take? And he'll be ready to go because I think skill-wise, mechanical-wise, he's got all the tools to be a day one corner in the NFL. And his pro day was amazing. 4'4", 40, 18 bench press, 225 pounds bench press, 39-inch vertical, 10 feet, 11 inches broad jump. So height, weight, speed, strength, athleticism. Okay, he's the perfect corner. He's the blueprint of today's NFL cornerback. So do I see some concerns? Yeah, in the NFC East, the only concern I would have is I know the competition at wide receiver in the NFC East really isn't the strongest point. I mean, I know Dallas has Amari Cooper, Washington has Terry McLaurin, Philadelphia's got problems, and, everybody else is just like, I think the only issue would be the defense is need a lot of work, and it's going to look really bad if everything doesn't connect if they're not healthy. But if they are healthy, then I think the Dallas Cowboys get a steal in this one. And you can't go wrong here. You cannot go wrong here. I think he's a perfect candidate to be a Dallas Cowboy legend. I think he was born to play corner in the NFL, just the way he plays and his tenacity, the way he plays. I think he's good as anybody. So for me, no brainer. Patrick Surtain, you're the next Dallas Cowboy. So for me, that's going to do it. I want to wish everybody a beautiful, happy Easter. Love yourself, love each other. Remember why we're all here celebrating Easter today. It's a weird time for everybody right now, but it's going to get better. It always does. And like I said, just happy Easter, everybody. And as always, if you can please follow my YouTube show. It is called J Rod Sports Debate and Discussions. Facebook page is All Sports Fan Talk. Same thing with the podcast and Instagram page. If we can subscribe, follow, just everything. If we can do everything to make it work. Little thing is up here. So if you can see that, there it is right there. If you see that little picture right there, just click on that. And other than that, please follow, subscribe. We want to try to get bigger with everybody here. We want to help each other out. And that is going to do it for me today, guys. As always, I do apologize, for everything going on right now. It's just the move to Vegas, a lot of moving parts, and just we're trying to get better as we go on. And it is going to get better. It's just a lot of moving parts right now, but everything should go back to normal this week. Everything should go to normal this week, hopefully. And I can't wait. It's going to be fun. We got the Giants tomorrow. It's going to be an amazing time. I think we have a guest. I'll have to check up with him tomorrow. I know today's everybody kind of busy. Everybody's having their own plans today, so it's fine. And as always, have a wonderful day. Happy Easter again to everybody. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow when we talk about the Giants. It's going to be fun. Where do the Giants go from here? Do they go offense? Do they go defense? It's going to be interesting to dissect all their issues and everything. But overall, I think right now, actually, we do have one comment. If you were 9 and Justin Fields or no quarterback is there, what would you do? Me personally, we cannot trade in mock drafts, but if I was John Elway and my guy, a quarterback, was not there, I would probably trade back in that situation. At pick number 9, I would trade back if I was the Denver Broncos. I would just try to get more picks and just try to get something down the road, try to get better, because there's a lot of holes to fill, and one pick is not going to do it. If your quarterback's not there, trade back to somebody that else wants that number 9 pick and just move on. So that's what I would do. But other than that, have a wonderful day. See you guys tomorrow. Happy Easter. Take care, everybody.